Namaste, you nasty Stax loving nerd. This is Najeela, the budget pub stomper, and today we're going to be talking about, well, you know exactly what we're going to be talking about. You clicked on the video, you saw that this was Winota Stax, and you clicked anyway. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a Stax deck. I've never done a Stax deck on the table before, and that's mostly because I flipping despise Stax. I hate playing against Stax. I hate playing with Stax. I just hate Stax games. I hate what they do to a CEDH game. I do love that they exist. I'm glad that they are a thing that people can do. I'm not trying to yuck anybody's yum, and that's why I'm bringing this deck to you on the channel. Finally, after however long I've been making decks, I'm going to present something that is for you degenerate hate bear digging nasties. And this is, as far as I'm concerned, the far and away the best Stax deck you could build in CDH or budget competitive. I don't know how you match this. In my estimate, Winota is a Magic card that never had any business being printed, and especially, now I know they put it as a legend because that's supposed to be sort of a, in 60 card formats, that's a bad thing, right? You're nerfing the card by making it a legend. But in our format, you're turning it into a fucking commander, which is crazy. And I know kind of, I think I know kind of what they were thinking when they did build this, or, put this, designed the card, right? They thought, we can make this a legend, and we don't really need to worry about it destroying EDH because it's Boros. We'll just make it Boros, and Boros is fucking awful, and so we can make this crazy, destructive piece of cardboard that is Winota Joiner of Forces, and we don't have to worry too much about it because it's in shit colors. Problem with that is they kept beefing up the colors. So they can't, nerf Winota. Winota still exists, but they keep printing shit like Alexious and however you say this thing. And they keep making the color, especially the creatures in the color pair, better and better and better. And you can still play Winota as your damn general. It's like, well, yeah, but it's very specific to humans and non-humans. Think about that. It's very specific to humans and non-humans. Well, that is literally all creatures. All creatures will either fit into the category of human or non-human. Let's talk about this deck. I'm not condoning its use. I'm not telling you to play this against your friends. No, I mean, it's a cool freaking deck, guys. Honestly, if you're going to play Stax, if I have to play against Stax, I want it to be this chick with the samurai sword, because at least you know when you face Winota, when she gets off to one of those nasty Winota Stax starts, you're not going to be in torment for an hour and 20 minutes while she gradually picks at your... No, she's going to bring that samurai sword down fucking hard. And when she gets you locked down, Winota doesn't play with her food, right? The way that a lot of Stax decks do. So, I guess if there had to be a nasty bitch of competitive Stax decks, I'm glad it's this. And it's not some kind of make you want to pull all your hair out and claw your eyes out little by little over the course of a 3-hour game that is inevitably going to go to time or go to fisticuffs with the participants of the game. So why am I even thinking about Winota? Well, honestly, there's been a couple of printings lately that have got me thinking that I'm probably going to have to go up against this nasty bitch in CDH again. I think it's possible that Winota makes a comeback, a reemergence, and some of the cards that got printed, I started, buying those up, thinking that they might just put this deck back. Well, it's not just that. There's just been some very powerful creatures printed recently that I think are interesting, that power up a lot of strategies. And I kind of was talking about, or I pointed at this thing. I don't know how to pronounce this. Ainok Strike Leader. This is one of them. I think this is one of the coolest and most powerful little bears that we've got in a very long time. This is not only either a human or a non-human, but it is also a dog riding a cat. And I don't know what that means exactly, but it feels like a match made in Winota Heaven or Hell or, whatever, Valhalla. Feels like a match made in Winota's Valhalla. So this is a 2/2. It's a bear. but I mean it's not. It's clearly in the art you can see it's a cat, like a big giant cat, but it's a bear, but it's not because it's a dog warrior. So anyway, this is a 2/2 for 2, generally known as a bear, and it says whenever you attack with this creature and or your commander, for each opponent, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. And it also has, that could be it. That is a very powerful card. That's enough. That's why you want the card. It's like a perfect card for this deck. But then it has extra text. And it's not even just flavor text. It could actually be relevant in some games. Sacrifice this creature. Creature tokens you control gain indestructible until end of turn. So if somebody has an answer to the Alpha Strike that you're about to unleash, when you just have this army in a box just unfolding and just dropping out drooling fucking goblins, and when you're on that like third turn and there's just a massive army of them, and somebody thinks they can save themselves by casting an instant speed, one of those instant speed board wipe type effects, is Winds of one of the instant speed board wipes, or just I don't know, like is there Into Festivities that's in, whatever, somebody tries to get themselves out of that mess, or maybe it's not even, they're waiting until they could be doing this at sorcery speed, they just know that you have so many goblins that you're definitely going to murk the entire board, the entire table, and they cast whatever board wipe. You can sacrifice this creature, and all of those tokens stay in play, which is going to give you not only your potentially your Alpha Strike on the next turn, but also if you can recast your Winota, get like your 43 procs, Winota procs. If you're not familiar with Winota, I don't know, there might be like 4 of you. Winota is a 4 mana 4/4 legendary human warrior. Subtype is pain in the ass. It says whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, it just says attacks, it doesn't have to hit, it doesn't have to deal combat damage, just attack. Whenever a non-human creature you control attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library and put a human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Is that it? No. Tapped and attacking. Well, damn, that's a lot. That's a lot more than we needed, but we're not done. It also gains indestructible until the end of turn. Then you put the rest of them on the bottom in a random order. So whatever, you go through the top 6 cards of your library, you put one in play, tapped, attacking, indestructible, and then you put the rest of them on the bottom of your deck. The rest of the cards. That procs 1 time for each non-human creature that you have attacked with. This happens before damage is dealt, and so when you have your turn 2 Ainok Strike Leader, so like a really good curve could be like turn 1 drop, we've got plenty in the deck, turn 2 whatever this thing is, however you say this dog cat thing, turn 3 Winota, and now you're attacking with this guy and making 2 other guys, and you're attacking with those guys, and that is very, it's not a stretch. This isn't magic Christmas fairy tale land. It is very easy to be getting 4 procs off of your Winota the first time you put her into play on like turn 3. That's not at all. That happens all the time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be trying to damage out the table fast with these little murderers. What are some of the other new things? There were some very specific new printings that made me think, damn, I'm going to have to figure out a way around Winota and CDH, and I should probably build it for the channel. Oh, one of them was the Balloon Man. This is a human, and we're already playing Kiki combos in the deck. So this is it's a little bit, it's a little difficult to set this up as an actual combo, but it's also just a very good value piece in the deck, and it does have combo potential. So I think this is a really cool include. Voice of Victory, obviously. That's the one I was thinking of the whole time. Okay, this is a human, so this helps us to not whiff off of our Winota procs. It's a 1/3, so it can pretty easily attack. And it's a Grand Abolisher, so if you are setting up one of your weird Jolly Balloon Man combos, if your Voice of Victory is in play, your opponents can't mess with you. If you proc your Winota and Voice of Victory comes off the top, there is no time for your opponent to see that and then respond. It's over. They can no longer do things. So when this guy gets surprised out of the deck and onto the field with Winota, and your opponents didn't do anything to stop that from happening, it's too late. And now if the next proc and the next proc assemble a game-winning combo with Zealous Conscripts and kiki-Jiki or whatever the case, a big Alpha Strike attack with Angrath's Marauders, there's nothing your opponents can do about it. By that point, it is too late. Not only that, but Voice of Victory comes with 2 attackers. It's got Mobilized 2. Let me just read the card. Human, Bard, 2 mana, 1/3. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn. Mobilize 2. Whenever this creature attacks, you create 2 tapped and attacking 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. Sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step after it's far too late, and you've already gotten 2 additional procs off of your Winota for the just the mobilized tokens. So Voice of Victory comes down and procs Winota 3 times the very first time it's able to attack. Now, the other one I was talking about can do better than that. This one doesn't necessarily even have to attack. You can have your Winota out on turn 3, turn 2, sometimes the Soul Ring start, or like Rite of Flame and a Simian or whatever. Say you get your Winota out on turn 2, but you don't draw your Ainok Strike Leader until turn 3. You can play the Strike Leader on turn 3. You can attack with Winota, and as long as you're attacking all 3 of your opponents, you're still going to proc your Dog Warrior. It says whenever you attack with this creature and or your commander, for each opponent, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. So you don't, I was even thinking that you had to attack each of your opponents to get that trigger. You don't. So you just flat out, no matter what, if you attack with either Ainok Strike Leader or or Winota, you are going to get 3 1/1 red goblin creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. That's fucking nuts. This thing's only $3.84. You guys buy these. This is going to be like just amazing in just about every relevant Stax deck, and it's going to be part of the new lineup of creature cards that are allowing even more Stax decks to exist. This is going to be one of the cards that potentially reinvigorates Winota. It's going to be amazing for all of your Tymna decks, Tymna-based. And there are some like pretty good Tymna-based Stax decks, but they're just a little bit too slow. They've been missing just a couple of pieces, and they may well have just gotten them. We might start seeing Tymna Kodama. You might just start seeing Tymna and that big green thing that is an overrun effect. I can't think of what it's called. It's something Fist of something. It's a green commander, so that puts you in Abzan colors. Win Countless Stax could be on the rise in CDH, and it sure as shit is going to be on the rise in budget competitive. Because I'm leading that revolt. So anyway, yeah. Ainok, $3.84, buy these. You might remember in the not too distant past when I was saying the same thing about Rionia, when it was about $3.84, sub $4 for sure. I know because I bought the shit out of them. I preached to you guys over and over in every video where she came up that the world is reading this card wrong, and once they clue in and figure out how it actually works, these things are going to go through the roof. Buy them. I pleaded with you guys to buy them. Well, then it got reprinted, so I thought, well, maybe I was wrong. No. The reprint has kept it down to only doubling. This deck, since we're playing a lot of relatively inexpensive pieces, right, like our 13-cent Ginger Brutes and even Alexious, which is nasty in this deck. This is kind of like Slicer, but built specifically for our deck, right? It's a human, 17 cents. This is a fantastic piece for the deck. Protects our Winota, procs our Winota, lets us get on the board fast. It's a 1-mana relevant creature. These things are 19 cents. So that allows us to have room to play some of these really big pieces, really big, nasty, important pieces like Voice of Victory, like Rionia. I don't think Pro Facebreaker is quite as expensive as it used to be. wouldn't be a bad time to pick these guys up at $5. These just go into so many decks. They're so good. Facebreaker's so good. Specifically in our deck, it's a human. It's a combat-based deck. You definitely want the Pro Facebreaker. Kiki-Jikis, these are $8 and some odd cents, and they... we have a little bit of budget to splurge for things like... well, I wouldn't say splurge for things. It's not like they're just minor upgrades, but kind of big nasty pieces like kiki-Jiki, Ainok Strike Leader, Voice of Victory, Witch Enchanter drop back down. So now you can finally buy Witch Enchanters, and I can put them in my budget decks again. And I think this is a really good piece for the deck, not just because it's a human, but it's just got some synergy with the deck overall. It's not a legend, so you can kiki-Jiki with it and start blowing up everybody's stuff. The Balloon Man can copy it and take advantage of the ETB. And the Balloon Man also does just make an armada of balloon creatures to help you proc your Winota. But there's also these ETBs. We got to the point with ETBs I had to take the, what's it called? The Skullfucker Thrall or whatever, the Door Knocker Thrall. That nasty Thrall that stops all the ETBs. I was able to keep that in the deck for a while, but it had to come out because we have moved into kind of not a combo-centric deck, but we are going to be winning games with the combos. Let's talk about the combos. I want to talk about these crazy creatures. We could afford an $8.72 Imperial Recruiter. Now, it wasn't easy, right? Like, I really had to do a lot of thinking and figuring when I put this deck together. But it's $99.52, and honestly, I think this is about the best configuration you're going to get. If you're going to buy about $100 worth of Winota, I would just order this deck. Honestly, I think I did a good job for you. Maybe we'll get to see some Goldfishing. Oh, maybe, yeah, for sure. But let's talk about some of the, so the did I even explain what she does? Yeah. Okay, so, normally what you're going to do is you're going to be looking for a hand that has some kind of, ramp to help you get your Winota out on turn 3. That's really the game plan. We want to go, whether that's, a Mana Rock or a Rite of Flame or a Simian Spirit Guide. We've got the Gold Mirror and the Iron Mirror to help ramp our Winota out. And these guys will proc Winota. And they're useful for Balloon Man combos, which we'll talk about. So you want to have like a turn 1 play. And some of your turn 1 plays can be mana or a way to proc your commander. Those are good because sometimes you'll draw like a Skirk Prospector and a Simian Spirit Guide, and maybe you can keep the Prospector for proccing your Winota, because we don't need to rush Winota down on turn 2. We really are looking to curve into Winota on turn 3. That is the game plan, and we would like to be proccing her at least twice when she comes into play. Or if you have one of the pieces that is able to protect Winota, especially if you can give her protection from a color, then I think it's totally acceptable to drop Winota, even if you're only going to proc her once. That's going to be fine because you can keep her in play. People are not going to like the fact that you've got a Winota in play, and they're going to be trying to remove her ass as fast as possible. If they don't do that, you're going to win the game. You're going to snowball, you're going to kill them, and you're going to do it a lot faster than you might think if you've never seen this happen before. So the game plan is going to look like, turn 1, Ginger Brute. Turn 2, Ainok Strike Leader. Turn 3, Winota with Simian Spirit Guide or a Rite of Flame. Something like that. Then you're going to go to combat, and you're going to get 5 procs off of Winota on turn 3. Yeah, if in games if that happens, you have won the game. I want to say this too. We've only played one actual IRL, like real paper, $100 budget tournament at my LGS. I've only ever been to one in real life. I've played a couple of other things online, but let me stay on my course here. The one IRL tournament at my LGS, was filled with good decks. A lot of the decks I either built or had a lot to do with building. I played in it, and the deck the deck that won the competition was $100 Winota. Wasn't this build, and I would argue that it wasn't as efficiently built as this build. Although it had its own thing, it was a totally different deck. It was a very good deck, very good, very cool, interesting. I think the guy went to the Winota Discord and had some help on there. So somebody who was playing at a CDH level with Winota helped him. I don't mean that it was a bad deck. Very good deck, but it beat us all. It just murdered everybody. Walked through the entire competition. I want to say undefeated. So Winota is legit. And if I can ever spit out how the deck works and we can get to Goldfishing, maybe I can show you why she's legit. So we've talked about the play patterns, and a lot of these play patterns will just sort of accidentally end the game just by doing what I said, where we're gonna just be trying to curve out fast creatures. Remember, you don't have to do combat damage to proc Winota. You only have to attack, so you can go like turn 1 Phyrexian Walker and Skirk Prospector, and then you can go like turn 2 Voice of Victory, and then you can go turn 3 hopefully Winota, and then you can attack with your dudes, with your team, and that's 1 2 3 4 5 procs, something like that. Then you'll be flipping cards off the top of your library, putting a bunch of dudes in play, and they come in attacking. They come in tapped and attacking, and they come in indestructible. And when one of those is like an Ingrath's Marauders and another one's a Blade Historian, you just murdered somebody. Somebody ain't getting out of the hospital, and probably 2 more are going into the hospital. Or when we go, turn 1, just any 1-drop. This guy, I like the Benevolent Bodyguard. I'm not sure if this is you might, if you are going to build this deck, regardless of whether this is human or not, it should be in the deck. But I want to say, I feel like I remember they errated this to human. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. I actually hope it is not a human. You'd prefer that the little guys aren't humans and the big guys are humans, really. So you can use this guy to proc Winota. So let's say this isn't a human. We'll go turn 1, this guy. Turn 2, Iron Mirror. Turn 3, Winota, single proc. It's fine because if somebody tries to kill your Winota, you can give it protection of the color of your choice, or from the color of your choice. And you proc and you get a kiki-Jiki. No, that's not a human. You get a Alexious off the top on turn 3. This thing is going to do a bunch of damage, and then it's going to go all the way around the table and just keep beating the people to death on every combat, on every turn, every player's turn. So that's we're going to get our Thalia's Lancers come into play, which will have us search our library for any legendary creature, which I think all of our combo pieces are legendary creatures. Kiki-Jiki is, Rionia Fire Dancer is, and the Jolly Balloon Man. So our 3 main combo pieces, and this doesn't have to win with a combo. It can absolutely combat people to death, not a problem at all. Probably most of the games you win, you will be doing that, and it's not going to be this torturous turn 18 thing. It's going to be done quickly. If we're stopped in our normal beat the table to death with Winota combat stuff, if that game plan is fizzled out from under us, maybe somebody board wipes or somebody just kills Winota a couple of times, we still have the ability to put together just a kind of a standard Stax plan with a very powerful combo finish. We can Thalia people out, Phyrexian revoke them. While we're setting up our win condition, we can Sanctum Prelate their asses. And so our combos are going to look like any of the kiki-Jiki combos that are here. We've got Zealous Conscripts. If you're not familiar with how that combo works, you're going to use kiki-Jiki to make a copy of Zealous Conscripts. Kiki-Jiki says tap, create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control. That creature has haste. Sacrificed at the beginning of the next end step. So if you copy Zealous Conscripts has an ETB, gain control of target permanent, untap it, it gains haste. In this instance, in this usage of the card, what we're going to be gaining control of is going to be Kiki-Jiki, because we're going to be untapping it. Yeah, so we copy Zealous Conscripts with Kiki-Jiki. Zealous Conscripts ETBs making untapping Kiki-Jiki. Then you can tap Kiki-Jiki again to make another copy of Zealous Conscripts, and you can do that ad infinitum. You can do the same thing with a couple other cards on the deck. Combat Celebrant. I can't remember all the Kiki bottoms that I'm using. Village Bellringer. Might just be those three. So Combat Celebrant normally just has this text that is absolutely relevant in this deck. Sometimes this will just be your Alpha Strike. You'll hit this off of your Winota flip on turn 3, and then on turn 4 you're going to exert this and get 2 combats, and that's going to be enough to close the game. But Combat Celebrant, so it allows you to take an extra combat if you exert it. So exerting means that you don't get to untap it on your next turn, but if you're not going to have a next turn, doesn't matter. And in the context of a Kiki-Jiki combo, it doesn't matter. So you will tap the Kiki to make a copy of Combat Celebrant, and you'll exert the Combat Celebrant, which will untap all of your creatures, including your Kiki-Jiki, and then you'll tap the Kiki-Jiki to make another Combat Celebrant. Exert that one also, which will untap all of your creatures, including your other Combat Celebrant, and you'll just keep doing that. So the Combat Celebrant goes infinite with Kiki-Jiki, and the Village Bellringer goes infinite with Kiki-Jiki. Village Bellringer and Combat Celebrant are both humans. We also have Rionia Fire Dancer, that's a human, that can be a stand-in for our Kiki-Jiki. So we can use the Rionia Fire Dancer to combo with some of the Kiki bottoms, not all of them. But Rionia is just a fantastically powerful creature in her own right. If you copy, you get to copy at least one creature. So you copy your nastiest thing during every combat. It's a human that you can flip off Winota, and with say Combat Celebrant, you can make infinite Combat Celebrants with Rionia Fire Dancer the same way that you would do with Kiki-Jiki. So even if your Winota has been murdered in cold blood a number of times, you can still close the game out by staxing out the board with your Stax pieces and your Hate Bears, and then getting to a Kiki-Jiki, Rionia, or Jolly Balloon Man combo. Now, the thing with the Jolly Balloon Man is you also have to have some kind of a mana dork in play to get this to work. So the combo with Jolly Balloon Man is going to be like, you've got a Iron Mirror or Gold Mirror, which are cards we want to play in the deck anyway. Ornithopter of Paradise. So you've got Iron Mirror, Other Mirror, Ornithopter of Paradise. And I also put Mistress Factory. So Mistress Factory, we're in a 2-color deck, so this isn't it's not too damning to play one colorless land. I thought this was worthwhile because you can use your Mistress Factory to proc your Winota, and if you turn the Mistress Factory into a assembly worker, then it also can go infinite with your Jolly Balloon Man combos. So if you're not familiar, Jolly Balloon Man is a haste, kind of a little Kiki-Jiki variant. We call him Squeaky-Jiki. For 3 mana, he's a 1/4 haste. Pay 1 and tap. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it's a 1/1 red balloon creature. In addition to its other colors and types, it has flying and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of next end step and activate this ability only as a sorcery. It'll combo specifically with Village Bellringer, Let me just explain the village bell ringer thing. So let's say we've got a mistress factory that we've turned into a factory worker. So we have a 2/2 creature that can tap for a colorless mana. Really, we've just got any creature that can tap for mana. And we've got the Jolly Balloon Man. And we've got, in this case, we're talking about the Village Bell Ringers. So we make a copy of the Village Bell Ringers. The little balloon copy of Bell Ringers, ETBs, and it says when Village Bell Ringer ETBs, untap all the creatures you control. So that means you're going to untap the Jolly Balloon Man, and you're going to untap the Mistress Factory. So that's going to, or your Copper Mirror, Iron Mirror, or Ornithopter of Paradise, whatever it happens to be. So then you can tap them again to make a copy again, and basically just go infinite that way. I don't think it's the easiest thing to explain, but I think if we've got time to do a little bit of goldfishing, you'll see how nasty this deck pops off. Then maybe I don't have to do any more talking, so I don't have to worry about my my low nerd energy and my lost voice. I can let my nerd deck do the nerding. How are we doing on time? Ouch. I mean, I guess I do want to explain how you're going to play the deck, because there are some little intricacies. Like, you have to know that it's a Stax deck. You have to know about the things that are going to proc your Winota like crazy. And you have to know the combos. But also, I think you need to know that the key pieces, some of the key pieces are pieces that are going to keep Winota alive. That's like one of the main things. Maybe the first time you play the deck in a play group, it won't be that big of a deal, and you'll just be allowed to steamroll them. But after your opponents have seen this deck a couple of times, Winota's kill on sight. Every time they see Winota come down, they're going to be looking to murder your Winota. So this deck is kind of jam-packed full of ways to take the sting out of that. And one of the ways is just to make sure that you curve into multiple Winota procs so that you get some value out of her before she gets 86th. And hopefully you can really lock the board down before she gets 86th. Man, I am really losing my voice. But pieces like Skrelv, this ends up being just totally required. You have to have these guys in your Winota deck. This is a Mother of Runes effect. So we've got the Skrelv, and we've got the Mother of Runes. Did I have to take her out? No, 483. Worth it. You need these effects. Ways to protect Winota. This one, Alexious of Life's Bounty. This is great because it gives your Winota protection from a color, which can help it get through for that last, will help whatever creature get through for that last proc or that last bit of damage, but also just protects your Winota from being murdered. So we've got, I really think we should kind of point these ones out. This one is, Alexious of Life's Bounty. This one's great, kind of the same thing, protection of, and this one, haste is not a matter. So with Alexious, you don't need to worry about having summoning sickness, but you do need 1 mana. And with the Skrelv and the Mother of Runes, you have to wait until you, your Mother of Runes has summoning sickness, so it won't work to protect your commander the turn you play it. But with Benevolent Bodyguard, not only do you not need a mana to proc it, or to activate it, but you also don't have to worry about summoning sickness. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Yes, you have to sacrifice it, but tough shit. Boromir can also be, sometimes can protect your team and sometimes protect your Winota. It's not a perfect, it's like a lot of the ways that people will remove your Winota, we'll just exile her, like a lot of the removal people play, and more competitive, I don't know, in budget competitive though, you'll see just like destroy target creature cards. That's a thing. So Boromir can be a way to protect your Winota and really just protect your team. And then we've got Bolt Bin, because Winota's a 4/4. We get to play my favorite My favorite little piece of budget tech, Bolt Bend. It's a deflecting swap for 1 mana as long as you have a 4/4 in play. And I think that was the only one I was allowed to keep in the deck. Yeah. But there's pieces. There's protection pieces. We've got creatures that protect our board and our, Winota, and we've got a spell or two. Let's get into the goldfishing, and I think that's it for my voice. I think it is officially my. No, I've got to talk to you about High Noon. Touch the Spirit Realm can also be a way to protect your Winota, and an uncounterable way. High Noon. So probably the best, the most damning Stax pieces that affect the most decks in competitive CDA or competitive Commander are Rule of Law effects. Rule of Laws that say you can only play 1 spell each turn make it pretty much impossible to combo off, because combo by definition means that you're combining more than 1 card. Almost always that means you're going to have to cast more than 1 card in the same turn to win the game, and High Noon doesn't allow your opponents to do that. Aside from that, though, you can sacrifice the High Noon if it's stopping you from winning, or if one of your opponents needs you to get it off the board so that they can counterspell some game-winning piece that one of your other opponents is going to use, but they've already countered a spell, so they're stuck behind your High Noon. You can pay 5 mana, sacrifice the High Noon, get it off the table to unlock whoever you need to unlock. Also, it's only 2 mana, so mostly the Rule of Laws are 3 mana. Like straight up Rule of Law, 3 mana, and it just does the Rule of Law thing. High Noon, however, on the other hand, is only 2 mana, and you can get it off the board when you need to, and you can use it to Lava Axe something. So it's got this 5 mana sacrifice High Noon. It deals 5 damage to any target. That can also be the last 5 damage you need to end the game. Totally fantastic piece for the deck. This was probably the first piece in a now pretty long list of Winota warping pieces that are, I don't know, maybe that have come out in the last, 2 years maybe? When did High Noon come out? A year or 2 ago? I'm guessing 18 months. It feels like 6 months ago. Usually, however it feels, you multiply that by 3, and that's how long it's really been. Let's see. Goldfishing the deck. 5 is just obviously too much. But even if we had 4 lands, if we had, Ginger Brute into Phyrexian Revoker, and one of these 5 lands was, a Simian Spirit Guide, I'd probably keep this. But that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something like this. So this is our second 7, right? We'll draw for turn. We'll play a land for turn. We'll play a creature. Go to our next turn. Now, the decisions are always going to be really hard to make in a vacuum. We don't know what we would be doing in-game. There's going to be a lot of situations where the right play is going to be to play a Thalia. Say you're playing against 2 Storm decks. Get the Thalia out. You can't storm through a Thalia. It's nigh impossible. Or if you're just playing against other Stax decks. Well, if you're playing against other Stax decks, you're going to race them and you're probably going to win. If you're playing against a Stormy deck, you're probably going to want your Thalia. If you're playing in a mixed pod full of combo decks, maybe High Noon. And if you're playing against the Goldfish, you're going to play your Ornithopter or your Iron Mirror. I suppose it doesn't matter which. So yeah, hard to say exactly what our play would be. Let's go to our turn 3. We're going to play our Witch Enchanter, sadly, as a land. It happens. That's why those cards are so damn good. And we run out our Winota. And we get a proc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We almost whiffed. The deck doesn't whiff very often. I feel like I've got it dialed in pretty good as far as that goes. I'm finding that it whiffs about, 1 out of 6, which if you're in that ballpark, I think that's just about perfect. I mean, you'd rather whiffed never. But if it's whiffing never, then probably you're not actually playing the cards you should be playing. You're putting too much effort and energy into making sure Winota never whiffs, right? These go to the bottom. I don't know if I can move them. Yeah, I guess you can move them all to the bottom. Cool. All right, so now Alexious comes into play, tapped and attacking. It says she attacks each combat if able. She can't be sacrificed, can't attack its owner. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains control of Alexious, untaps it, and puts a +1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. Alright, so we have attacked on turn 3 with our Winota, or with our Ornithopter, and it has transformed into an Alexious. This is going to hit somebody right now for 4 damage. Then it's going to get passed to the next person. It's going to go to a 5/5. And it's going to hit somebody for 5 damage. Then it goes to the next person. It turns into a 6/6 and hits somebody for 6 damage. And then again for 7. Then we get it, and it grows again. So this game is not going to be a long one. This thing, unless somebody deals with this, and they can't sacrifice it, and really keep an eye on that, because people just all the ways that you try to get rid of this in Slicer, it seems like it should work, and it doesn't work, and people are going to make that mistake, and you might accidentally let them. Pay attention to that. They can't sacrifice it. Really critical. It's really actually critical. All right, and so now we're going to be going to turn 4. And maybe now we just stacks out the table and let our Alexious do its thing. I think that is probably what we would do in almost every case. So, I mean, against the Goldfish, maybe it would be more fun to run out the Rionia and see if we could get crazy shit to happen. But I think realistically, the correct thing to do would be at this point to just lock the table out. Like so. We've got a Thalia, we've got a Rule of Law, and we've got a Clock. That's exactly the position you want to find yourself in. Then we go to combat. We don't have many. We've got just one procer, and we could definitely do this different. We could keep our Bolt Bend up to protect our Winota. We could cast the Rionia to copy a Ornithopter of Paradise or what have you, an Ornithopter. But I think we would just be going to combat with this guy, which I think would be, let's see. We passed it to the first guy and it became a 5. The second guy, it became a 6. Third guy, it's a 7. So now it's an 8/8. So we're whacking somebody for 8 right now. We're only getting the 1 proc off of Ornithopter. Let's hope it's a good one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not a bad one. Okay, so here's the decision that you would have to make. You could either bring the Mother of Runes, who for sure is a human. I'm about 99% sure that has been errated to be a human. But we can either bring the protection piece out to kind of seal the deal a little bit more abruptly, or we could do the Impure Recruiter. I think I'm tempted to do the Impure Recruiter, and then we could just get our Combat Celebrant, and we'd get our combo piece to close out the game with Rionia. So if we get the safe play is to get this, and just try to keep this board locked down with our Stax pieces, and keep our pieces alive with Mother of Runes. And maybe the more fun way is to bring the Imperial Recruiter to tutor out our combo piece for Rionia. Let's look at another starting hand. It's not bad, but there's no ramp. Maybe Calamity's Wake could be another piece of ramp. It's a good piece. I just don't know if it fits our game plan as well as... I just thought it was super powerful card that people were kind of sleeping on. And it was like 7 cents. But maybe this could be a Felwar Stone. Oh, we don't even have white mana. Yeah. Next. Second 7 also doesn't do anything. No mana. Going to 6. Oh my god. Going 5. Going to 4. That's not good. Yeah, I guess we have to keep this and just hope to get lucky. Keep this 1, 2, 3. I don't know if we want to see if we just pray to God that we get a another land. Our Winota plan is really not that bad. Yeah, let's go for the better Winota plan. This is grotesque. That happens. This happens sometimes. Then we'll see what the deck looks like mulling very low. Land, Soul Ring, pass. We really needed that to be a land. We also did not hit a land in our top 2. So maybe we'd want to just play the Thalia to try to get this game slowed down. Or just pray to God that we don't whiff on a land again. And play the Rabble Master. Go to turn 3. Yeah, I'd say we're just cooked. Probably we're just cooked. Turn 4. Maybe if our opponents have been interacting with each other, maybe we, and I guess probably on turn 4 we're still alive. And if we get like really nasty procs, maybe this isn't. Maybe we could still be in this game. So we'll create another goblin. Go to combat on turn 4. We're gonna get 1, 2, 3 procs. So this could be fine. Was that a mold of 4? 1, 2, 3. So 3 procs off of, and maybe we'd hit somebody with that, maybe not. So first proc. Big money, no whammies. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably since we don't have any cards, we'd get the Palace Jailer. When it ETBs, you become the Monarch. When it enters the battlefield, you exile a creature an opponent controls until an opponent becomes the Monarch. So this comes into play, puts something on ice, at least temporarily, and then we become the Monarch, so we can start making up for some of the cards that we had to piss away on trying to find a playable starting hand. So that was the first proc. We'll go to proc number 2. Let's get these out of the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another interesting one. These are pretty good hits. Really. They're not bad, at least. So we could bring out protection for our guy. I think we're looking to high roll at this point. We had such a bad start. I think we just need that. I think we need the high roll. Ingrath's Marauders is coming out. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. So our Palace Jailer is going to be hitting for 4. Our little goblins are going to be hitting for 2 apiece. This guy is going to be just a 2/2. He gets +1/+1 for each other attacking goblin. Oh, cool. So this guy's a 4/4. This guy will hit for 8. Yeah, we're going to start murking people pretty quick like. Does this say another source of damage? No, and this guy hits for 8. Yeah, man. Okay, we're doing good here, actually. This may well have been enough to put us right back in the game. Give us a real good chance of ending said game. All right, let's get that. That's making me nervous. Oh, yeah. All right, third proc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A damn whiff. Oh, wow. All right, so these are going to go on the bottom. Can I do it this way? Nice. And let's go to a turn 5. Not the best, but you know, whatever. We've got a lot going on now. Oh, I forgot to draw a card for the Palace Jailer. Yeah, so I don't know if we'd be locking. Oh hell, yeah, we might be able to kill somebody right now. I'm getting ahead of myself. We don't have mana, but when we lightning axe or lava axe for 5 damage, it's gonna be 10 damage. So we're getting close to murdering people. We really want something that can proc our Winota. I think we run this out. The Boromir can protect our team. So yeah, this is turn 5. We go to combat. This guy spits out a goblin. Alright, so this is turn 5, and we mulled to 5 cards, was it? We mulled low, 4 cards. I think this was a fucking mull to 4. Anyway, it was one of those two. We go to combat. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 triggers for our Winota. And just a fuck ton of damage. So this is 1, 2, 3. Makes it 5 is 10. Okay, so this guy is just because of its text and the goblins in play is swinging for 5, but Angrath's Marauders makes that 10. So our Goblin Rabblemaster is hitting for 10 right now. Thalia's hitting for 4, that's 14. 22. 22 plus what, 4? Yeah, 22 plus 4 is 26. And then 34. Yeah, so we're swinging for, we're hitting for 34 damage right now, or at least we're attempting to hit for 34 damage right now. So it's not bad on turn 5. You know, especially we just had another big turn last turn. And let's see what our procs get us. I'm just going to tap the ones that are procking Winota. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to get 4 triggers. First one. 2. Oh, shit, I drew those. What the fuck? Slow down, Navanad, slow down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 6. Alright, so Facebreaker would give us a lot of mana, which would be good. Will Apprentice can help create more creatures to keep procking Winota and try to get this snowball going. Probably I would take the... I'd probably take the Pro Facebreaker, but I think it's pretty close, honestly. Can make an argument for either. So that's 1. Trigger number 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we could either get a Stax piece or the tutor. I think we just want the big damage off the 4/4 first strike, because this is going to be 8/8 first strike. And then we can find any legendary creature we want. And I think what we would do probably is find... we're going to be making a bunch of mana off of our Pro Facebreaker. So I think we'd use the Thalia's Lancer to find Rionia. And the Rionia would make a copy of Angrath's Marauders. So we'd have all of our damage being doubled and then doubled again. And then I had 2 more procs. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We take the Imperial Recruiter, and then we can get the bottom of the Rionia combo too. So we get Rionia, we would get the Combat Celebrant. We'd be ready to wrap the game up, and even if our combo gets stopped, still we'd be doing doubling our damage and then doubling our damage again next turn. Probably just kills everybody, and in fact, no, it'd be more than that. So if we play our Rionia on our next turn, so we're using Thalia's Lancers to get our Rionia. We'd have to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana, we use a ritual to get Rionia into play. So Rionia says that you make a copy, one copy of a creature you control, +1 for every instant or sorcery you've cast that turn. So we'd actually make 2 copies of Ingrath's Marauders. And so on our next turn, all of our damage would be doubled, and then doubled, and then doubled. So yeah, this is it. This is over. If we were if people thought, look, this guy mulled to 4, he's basically out of the game, and kind of let us go, they would have probably lost. And we have one more proc. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll just take the backup for. Yeah, I think we do the backup for Rionia. Because we could use. That's crazy. Not even backup. So next turn, so we'll bring the balloon man into play. So on our next turn, we would play out our Rionia, and then as long as we have another mana, which we're making tons of mana because we've got the Pro Facebreaker, so we're making a fuck ton of mana right now. So on our next turn, we're gonna be able to make at least, like dead minimum, we're gonna have cast 1 spell before Rionia triggers. So we will get 2 copies of Ingrath's Marauders with Rionia, and we'll be able to make another copy with kiki-Jiki. And so our damage will be doubled, and then doubled, and then doubled, and then doubled. Dead minimum. Alright guys, that was a low mull. Maybe we take a look at one more hand. And then we'd have an interesting dilemma on our hands here. I think we're probably gonna need to wrap this video up. I hate to not keep the yeah, you know what, I'm not gonna keep it or not keep it because I'm gonna wrap the video up here. So that is Winota. The degeneracy has never been more degenerate. If you are a degenerate prick that likes to play Stax decks, I think this is a good one. So hope you enjoyed the video, and if you ever had any doubts about whether I did any kind of creative editing during my Goldfishing, hopefully the mull to 4 has broke you of that suspicion. Till next we meet, homies. Word to your mothers and your brothers and your fathers. I don't think I give enough words to fathers. I don't think fathers get enough words to. East side until the day that I die. Peace be with you, but not you. Until next time, guys. Namaste, nerds.